Okay, Jimmy Butler was back in Miami, and even though the matchup looked intense on paper, things started with respect. The Heat showed him love with a tribute video, and fans gave him a loud cheer. He smiled, hugged Kevin Love, and everything seemed cool before tip-off. But once the game started, it was clear. This wasn't going to be Jimmy's night. Without Steph Curry, the Warriors looked flat, and Butler didn't do much to change that. He struggled to get anything going, scoring just 11 points on 3 of 12 shooting. Meanwhile, the Heat caught fire. Bam Adebayo played with energy, throwing down dunks and blocking shots like a beast. The team hit 17 threes and shot nearly 70% from deep, which made the game one-sided real quick. Tyler Herro nailed a buzzer beater before halftime, putting Miami up big. From there, it was smooth sailing. Bam led with 27 points, and Kelly Olynyk capped it off with a wild dunk late in the game. Jimmy left the court quietly after the loss, skipping the usual handshakes. On the other side, the Warriors showed support to Wiggins, but the game was already long gone. The Warriors were missing their leader, and it showed. Without Steph Curry, the offense had no rhythm, and the energy just wasn't there. They tried to move the ball and find open shots, but nothing was clicking. Draymond Green looked for plays under the basket, but Miami's defense was a step ahead all night. Jimmy Butler didn't help much either. Even though the spotlight was on him, he couldn't find a groove. He spent more time watching the game than impacting it, while Miami's defense made things harder every time the Warriors got close to the paint. Bam Adebayo and the rest of the Heat didn't just block shots, they made the Warriors uncomfortable on almost every possession. Wiggins tried to step up and had a few solid moments, but it wasn't nearly enough to shift momentum. The Warriors never looked like they had control of the game, and with Steph out, there was no one to take over when it mattered. By the time the fourth quarter rolled around, it was clear this one was already over. Things got tense in Utah when Desmond Bane and Santi Aldama got into it on the Grizzlies bench. Bane shoved Aldama so hard he dropped into his seat. It looked bad for a second, but somehow that moment lit a fire under Memphis. The team was down by 14, and after that push, everything flipped. The Grizzlies came out playing fast and locked in. They shut down Utah's offense and started hitting shots from all over the floor. The Jazz couldn't keep up. Memphis went from losing big to winning by 40, a turnaround you don't see every day. Bane led the way with 21 points, Aldama added 19, and 10 different players scored at least 8 points. Not everything was pretty though. KJ Martin had a play he'll probably want to forget, a wide open shot that missed everything. It didn't matter in the end. The Grizzlies completely took over the game, and that early drama between teammates ended up being the spark they needed. The Spurs had a nightmare stretch against the Pistons. For more than 10 minutes in the second quarter, they couldn't make a single shot from the field. They missed 17 straight attempts and only managed to put up points through free throws. It was one of those stretches where nothing worked. No layups, no jumpers, nothing. Detroit took full advantage of the situation. While San Antonio kept missing, the Pistons went on a 30-12 run that completely changed the game. Even without Cade Cunningham, Detroit looked sharp and focused. Their defense has been one of the best in the league recently, and it showed. They controlled the pace and didn't let the Spurs recover. Adding to the tension, there's concern around Damian Lillard's injury in Milwaukee. If he's out for a while, Detroit has a real shot to move up the standings. Winning games like this helps them stay close to teams like the Bucks and gives them a better chance to avoid a tough first-round matchup. The Knicks were in full control from the jump. With Anthony Davis sitting out due to back-to-back games, New York took advantage and dominated inside. They kept attacking the paint, played tough defense, and never let the Pelicans build any momentum. Every time New Orleans tried to make a run, the Knicks had an answer. OG Anunoby was the star of the night. He dropped 35 points on super efficient shooting and kept pushing through even after getting hit in the face. Blood on his jersey didn't stop him. He just wiped it off and knocked down a corner three like nothing happened. His toughness set the tone for the whole team. Josh Hart and Karl Anthony Towns both notched triple doubles, making it a historic night for the Knicks. But on the other side, Najee Marshall quietly scored a career-high 38 points. Still, it wasn't enough. The Knicks stayed locked in, kept the pressure on, and walked away with a solid win that showed just how deep and focused this squad can be. Paolo Banchero stayed hot with another big game, scoring over 30 points for the 4th time in a row. He attacked the rim, hit outside shots, and controlled the offense like a true leader. Every time the Hornets tried to close the gap, Paolo came through with a bucket to keep the Magic ahead. LaMelo Ball tried to carry Charlotte in the fourth quarter. He scored 14 of his 25 points in the final minutes, including some tough fadeaways and strong finishes at the rim. The Hornets even had a chance to take the lead late, but small mistakes at the worst moments made the difference. When it mattered most, Paolo stepped up again. He put Orlando up by 3, then watched as LaMelo turned the ball over twice in the clutch. Just like that, the Magic held on and closed out a hard-fought win. Paolo didn't just score, he made the plays that sealed the game. Jalen Green came out with fire and gave the Rockets exactly what they needed. He scored 32 points and grabbed 11 rebounds while putting on a show in front of the home crowd. Whether it was fast breaks, dunks, or smooth jumpers, he did it all. His energy was non-stop from start to finish. He also made plays on defense, getting steals and turning them into easy points on the other end. At one point, he pulled off a spin move into a dunk that got the whole arena on its feet. It wasn't just flash, he backed it up with solid numbers and led the Rockets to an important win. The Rockets needed this bounce-back game, and Jalen made sure they got it. They now sit 2 games ahead of Denver in the standings, and with performances like this, they're gaining momentum in the tight Western Conference race. Green showed he's more than just highlights. He's becoming the go-to guy when it counts. If you thought tonight's games were wild, yesterday's action was just as crazy. There was one defensive play that looked like a complete breakdown, probably the worst of the season. Players were out of position and the other team scored with no resistance at all. It was the kind of moment that makes you shake your head. That same night, the Orlando Magic completely shut down Luka Doncic and the Lakers. From start to finish, it was a one-sided game. The Magic didn't just win, they dominated. Luka tried to get going, but Orlando's defense was locked in and didn't give him much room to operate. If you missed that breakdown, it's worth checking out. I went through all the key plays and moments in detail, so you can see exactly how it all fell apart for LA. More wild games, more breakdowns coming soon. Because in the NBA, something crazy always happens.